Hey, I think I figured out who Solomon was paid to kill.
Billionaire philanthropist Christian Dahl.
How did you?
Organophosphates, jet oil, airport.
It's like we could be twins. Connection.
Conjecture. So, plates, paper. There's only one missing ingredient.
I know who the killer is. I was hoping you'd still be here.
I was just about to call you. I think I know who the killer is.
Isn't it obvious? I mean, am I the only one seeing this?
What?
Red cloak in the woods, animal attack. She's Little Red Riding Hood.
Great, Castle. I'll call in an APB for the big bad wolf.
Do you have a better theory?
Hey, Ryan? Do you think you could call dispatch, see if there are any reports of a violent animal running around the park?
Like a wolf? A big bad one?
Really?
That is exactly how I pictured her. It's freaky. My older sister used to read me that story.
Okay, when you're done reliving your childhood memories, do you also think that you could canvass the area for witnesses and anyone that might know her name? And I bet you it's not going to be Little Red Riding Hood.
On it.
The drugs, the claw, this is murder, planned and premeditated. I mean, the killer staged the crime scene to evoke images of Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, but why would he do that?
Well, I'm less concerned about why. What I'm wondering is who.
So the killer must have lured Amy into the park.
Which means he's someone that she knew and trusted.
Yeah, like Red Riding Hood trusted her cute little granny.
Yeah. Is that what I think it is in her hand?
Poisoned apple?
She's Snow White.
It looks like we've got a fairy tale killer on our hands.
Well, it's blood. Maybe Eddie was telling the truth.
Beckett? We're gonna need to see this.
What the?
Footprints. Giant footprints. Made by some kind of beast. Those vicious claw marks? Savage wounds. Her blood. These footprints. It all adds up to one thing. She was killed by Bigfoot.
Are you saying you actually believe you can't die?
My victims gave me unique insight into death, into its secrets. Even when my body perishes, my essence will continue on. I will continue on. You see, death is just the beginning.
Wow, that guy gives a whole new meaning to the word psycho.
I wonder if he did find a way to let his spirit live on.
Like the killer in those Chucky movies who transferred his spirit into that spooky doll.
Exactly. Only instead of a doll, it's a DVD. That explains the message: you saw, you die. The witnesses saw his crimes, so they must die.
Well, then, given that logic, we'd both be okay because we're not witnesses.
But you're a cop. I'm a cop. Helper. I mean, you don't think a convicted serial killer is going to have an axe to grind with the NYPD?
Castle, Nigel Malloy is not involved. He's dead.
I don't know if that's how I want to be remembered.
Castle, I was joking. There will be no photos of us on that murder board. By tomorrow, we are going to find a connection between our two victims that will lead us straight to a flesh and blood killer. In the meantime, it's getting kind of late, okay? So why don't we just call it a night? You know what? Actually, we could go back to my place tonight and take some more photos.
I might be convinced. Well, wait a minute. In every horror movie I've ever seen, having sex pretty much guarantees we will die. So, for the safety of us both, I say we just hold off.
Are you sure? I mean, think about it, Castle. This could be our last time.
That's what you're doing right now. This is not helping. I'm gonna remove myself from temptation. A good night's sleep will give me some perspective.
Huge mistake!
Castle,
Yeah.
for the sake of our future, please tell me you don't believe that guy.
Oh, no, but you gotta admit, it's a great story.
Really? Thought it was kind of derivative. Yeah, like a mashup of 12 Monkeys and Terminator.
Yeah, but it's the way he told it. Total commitment.
Commitment that turned deadly. I mean, to maintain his delusion, Shauna had to die. He might not even know that he killed her.
Did you guys find out what this device was Doyle had on him?
Yeah, Tech said it's just a bunch of junk thrown together.
What were you expecting, Castle? Time travel device? Doctor Who's sonic screwdriver?
You watch Doctor Who?
What's his connection to Doyle?
Nothing.
What do you mean not? Guys, come on, it's so obvious. Look, Ward is the guy that Doyle was sent back in time to stop, okay? Ward was sent back in time on some history-altering mission that he failed to accomplish, ending up in prison. 6 years later, he's trying to complete that mission, which is why Doyle has been sent back to now, because now is when the timeline changed.
Well, I was thinking that maybe Ward and Doyle knew each other in the non-crazy world, like perhaps that eco group that Ward was supposedly a part of.
Okay. That was fun.
But why would an anti-science nut torture and murder a parole officer? I mean, what's her connection to any of this?
We still haven't found one.
Why don't you guys go back in time and see if you can dig up any of Ward's known associates from 6 years ago? Castle and I will look into his case record, see if we can find a connection between him and Shauna Taylor, or perhaps figure out what his unfinished business was.
I think he's guilty because of his contact with the victim, the stalking, and his role in a sinister conspiracy involving Freemasons.
I can't believe you're really buying into that letter.
I can't believe you aren't. I did a little research into the author of our letter, Mr. Theodore Rose. Did you know he was a 33rd degree Master Mason?
So that makes him what, like a Freemason black belt?
Way better than that. He was a patriot spy. He wrote codes and ciphers during the American Revolution, meaning this letter could be the key to finding the great secret of the Masons enshrined somewhere within the city.
Why, because you want it to be?
Partly, and because it's the only story that makes sense. Shadowy Brotherhood guarding Rose's secret for all eternity. Susanna got too close, so they sent their monk assassin to kill her.
Is that blood up there on the rafter?
Yes, and it's hers.
How'd it get up there?
Well, as far as we can tell, our killer threw Madison up there.
Which is probably what killed her. She has a major intracranial injury.
She was thrown against the ceiling? That is a superhuman feat, bordering on physically impossible.
Okay, Castle, let's hear it. What's your outlandish theory?
Isn't it obvious? Madison made the Hulk angry.
Well, Hulk or no Hulk, Liverton puts the time of death somewhere between 8 and 10 tonight.